I have a doctor that was a mentor of mine.
Okay.
Her name is Dr. Pat Allen out in Los Angeles.
I know. Okay.
And talk about a hard job. She would speak every week at a movie theater in Los Angeles. And her movie theater was loaded with men and women from show business. Now, whatever you think of show business, it is by far one of the most impossible places to find relationships and be in relationships, because it's the epitome of body trading. Because it's people just trading themselves for whatever they could get. You'll get a woman who will give up herself if he's a producer, an actress. If he's a producer, a director, an agent, a manager, someone that can get her an acting job, she'll give up of herself. And there are people out in Los Angeles that she deals with a whole room of, she'll have heads of studios. People who have big, powerful jobs, females have big, powerful jobs out there, and they're absolutely miserable because they've taken on such a masculine role in their life to get where they need to go that they have no clue how to turn that off when the door closes at home and they're entertaining. Dr. Pat Allen wrote a book called Getting to I Do, and you should really read this book. So basically what she's saying is females have gotten so masculine in nature, because even what he said, this is what turned this whole thing on to me. This gentleman said that a woman will go up to a man, and that's a feminine thing to do or a masculine thing to do. I'm not, no judgments. Is that a feminine thing to do or a masculine thing to do? To go up to someone and approach them. Very masculine thing to do. There's no judgments, good or bad or weak or strong. It's a masculine thing to do. The thing is, for 10,000 years, males were mostly masculine in nature, and women were receptive and feminine in nature. And for the most part, don't get mad at me, for the most part, it worked.
Times have changed.
And times have changed, and women's lift came in and kicked some ass. Whose asses they've kicked, we're going to try to figure that out. Because they're still not figuring it out. Because some women feel their own ass has been kicked big time by choosing to become very masculine in nature. Now that works okay. There's no problem in the workforce. You have to compete and become masculine in nature. The problem is a masculine woman does not know how to turn that off in the bedroom or at home while they're dating. Now, I lived out in LA for 10 years. I've never been more confused in my whole life about relationships. I went out there the first time for 5 years, and I basically dated one woman and had the most exotic, erotic relationship of my whole life. She was 18, fairly feminine in nature, and I was fairly masculine in nature, and it worked. But for the other 4.5 years, I couldn't find anybody to date. Why? Women turned so masculine in nature to be in show business, to be an actress, that they couldn't. It was like opposites of attraction. Masculine man and a masculine woman didn't work. Always banging heads. Doesn't work. The man wants to be the masculine one and do the masculine thing, even if it's, like Fred Flintstone and, beating up on some animal and bringing it home to feed the family. But a woman who became very masculine in nature, the only one that she would allow into her life was a fairly feminine man, a softer guy, or else they'd be battling all the time. So LA, whenever a strong woman, you'll never see a strong woman allow a strong man into her life it's so rare, it rarely happens. They go after softer men. Now what happens there? That doesn't work for a while, after a while, because the woman will start calling him, "Wussy boy, why don't you go out and get a job?" But she liked it about him that he was so available and softer and a bohemian type. She had access to him. He wasn't working all the time. She had a relationship with him. But then she started calling him all sorts of names. "Come on, wussy boy, why don't you be a man?" And that relationship broke up. I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you at one time, but it's what's happening right now. And it's extremely confusing for everyone. A man doesn't know how to approach you. A man doesn't know what to do with you, especially if you approach him. Now you think, you get a lot of men that will say, "Hey man, I just want the girls to come to me," and yeah, of course, a guy who's not really looking for love will take all the females on that want to offer their bodies to him. He'll take them on, sure, why not? But I guarantee you one thing, it's going to be very rare that he's going to be satisfied with a masculine, aggressive woman for very long, because he wants to be the aggressor in the relationship. It's in his blood. It's the only thing that really turns him on. It's a quick turn on if you come on to me and you want to get together with me, but I'm really not going to take you too seriously, because I'm thinking to myself, how many guys have you done this with? If a woman gets aggressive and throws herself on a man,
I'm just saying, in a bar setting.
In a bar setting.
And if a woman just smiles and says hi, that
whoa,
doesn't necessarily
wait a second, you just said
so aggressive.
Whoa!
If she smiles and says hi, that's a feminine thing. That's not a masculine thing.
Take it out of the bar, please. Do me a favor.
Well, in any kind of social
I wrote
setting.
a little. I wrote a little report that says
setting.
150 ways and places to meet someone nice. Okay.
In a social setting.
Here's what: if you want to meet a man, a masculine man, you look at him from across the room and smile at him, and hold that smile for three. Not a funny face. That's a problem. We're too self-conscious. We're too insecure. If you're interested in the man from across the room, you want to do it the right way, you smile at him. Don't just smile for a second and look away. Smile for 2 or 3 or 4 seconds. Now, if he's not interested, because you're being too feminine,
Well, there's no chemistry.
or there's no chemistry, he's not gonna, but there's nothing better than smiling at a guy and making him feel that you'll accept him and not reject him and make him feel like a fool. And the way to do that is with eye contact and a smile. You don't have to go up to him and stand next to him at a bar with a drink, twirling your ice around until he says hello. You don't have to do that. You can just smile. That is a wonderful way to attract a decent man who wants to, from that point on, do his thing to pursue you. You don't want any wussy boys who you go up to and take his whole job away from pursuing you. Men really want to pursue you. They really, really do. And they're not particularly turned on for more than a short period if you offer themselves to them too easily. They're thinking, not you.
No, I'm saying, but I see so many women who are asking men to dance.
That's right.
Years ago it wasn't accepted, but today anything goes.
It still shouldn't be acceptable, but the problem is so bad that even bad has become acceptable. It's become acceptable on Wall Street. It's become acceptable in banks. it's become acceptable everywhere.
Beg your difference. The
Yes,
latest statistics are that 52% of the people that do go to bed on the first date because the chemistry is there. And that's the latest statistics that are coming out.
Okay, and your point is?
That it's just contradictory of what you're saying. If it's right for you, there should be no time thing. It's right. It's either right or it's wrong.
And I disagree with you.
I agree.
Because, listen, we have to have a little self-control. I mean, I think the 70s and the 80s, when there was, when a lot of us were in college or wherever, and, you know, we did a lot of, if we slept with someone on the first date, I don't know anyone, maybe 1 in 100, who took that person seriously and brought them home to Mama.
But this is a different era.
I understand. Guess what? The different era isn't working.
It's not working, but it's what's now.
I'm here to tell you.
I'm not saying I agree.
I'm here to tell you that
is.
if you want it to work for you, I suggest that you go back to a way that worked for thousands and thousands and thousands of years.
I mean, I agree. However,
you know what? If you decide in this day and age to be different and to be a receptive, feminine woman, or to be a masculine man, you will stand out so much now that you'll probably have all the people that you want in your life. Because that is so different. So my message to you is read a book called Getting to I Do by Dr. Pat Allen. Write that down. She is the person who helped all these movie stars and all these producers understand the role of masculine and feminine in relationships. And yes, we all need to have a balance. But I think the balance is out of whack.